In this video, I'm going to look specifically at the difference between a monopoly firm and a monopolistically competitive firm, because they're very similar, but there are some key differences. So in your book, in chapter 11, this is where I pulled this graph from. This is a typical monopoly graph, and if you go on page, let me just check real quick. This is on page 196 in your book, if you want to go back and read all through that. But I'm not going to read all this to you, because you can read that, but I just want to point out that the main difference probably is the monopoly is just one firm. They have a monopoly. So whatever they're producing, they're the only firm that produces this particular good or service. So they don't have any other firms competing with them for a market share. So when they're trying to decide their quantity, they can go to where their marginal revenue curve intersects or is equal to their marginal cost, and that's going to be where that is going to be where they produce, and then they're going to find their price by just moving up to their demand curve. And in a typical monopoly, the average total cost, or if the average cost or average total cost at the point where they're producing is below their price, then they're going to make an economic profit, which is this dark blue area or purpley blue area right here. This whole rectangle is their total revenue, and then the lighter shade right here up to their average cost curve, this is their total cost right here. So if you actually want to find the dollar amount, for example, of their total cost, you would simply take the quantity, which is 4 point something, times the cost line right here, which is 600 and something, right? And you just multiply that to find the area in dollars, right? But this isn't going to change as a result of any firm leaving or entering the market, because this is the only firm. So this is, if they can actually produce it with this cost, they're going to theoretically continue to make and continue to make an economic profit, forever. Now let's compare that to a monopolistically competitive. Can you say that? Monopolistically competitive. Yeah, it's a mouthful. Now, or it's easier just to say monopolistic competition. Now, we know that there could be any number of firms in a monopolistically competitive market. And one example that I use sometimes is toothpaste, because what makes it not perfect competition is that there is a differentiation between the product. So it could be one firm could make Colgate, one firm can make Crest, one firm can make Ultra Bright, one firm can make, I don't know, some other kind of toothpaste I can't think of. But there could be several firms making toothpaste. They're similar, but they're not the same. So that's why we have a downward sloping demand curve, because if I like Colgate, I'm going to have if you think through this deeper, if I like a Colgate, I'm still going to have a price where I'm not going to buy it. In other words, I'm either going to have a very elastic demand, which means I don't really like it a whole lot, and if the price goes up, I'll go buy a Crest. Or I might have a very inelastic demand, and if the price goes up, I'll stick with Colgate. Or it might be more unit elastic. But so that's sort of what happens. So at some point you're going to lose customers because of this downward sloping demand if you shift the price up too high. Now, just like in the monopoly, a monopolistic competitor is going to look at where their marginal revenue equals their marginal cost and then move up from that point to their demand. So the difference is, the big difference is firms can move in and out of the market. So if the firms that are in the market are here at point, their price is here at point T, and that means their price is well above their average cost. So the firms that are in this market are making a profit. They're making an economic profit because their price is higher than their average cost or their average total cost. So what happens? What happens is other firms decide, hey, if there's a lot of profit in toothpaste, I'm going to start making toothpaste. So other firms come into the market, which shifts the demand for this particular firm to the left. As more firms come in, they'll lose customers to the newer, fancier brand of toothpaste. So that shifts every firm that is currently in the market, it shifts all their demand curves to the left until such point where average cost equals price. And at that point, they're going to make zero economic profit. Now, the other scenario is if there's losses, if every firm in the market is here at point X, which means their price is below their average cost, then they're experiencing economic losses, and theoretically, firms will leave the market. Firms will just go out of business until, and when that happens, the firms that stay in, their demand is going to shift to the right because there's less firms now in the market. So all the firms that are still in the market are going to have a higher demand until such time as that demand curve shifts up to a point where their price is going to equal average cost. So once again, in long run equilibrium, a monopolistic competitor is going to be at a zero economic profit, where price equals average total cost. So that's the difference. A monopolistic competitor in the long run is going to, the market is going to adjust by either firms entering into the market or leaving the market until all the firms that remain in the market are at zero economic profit. And in a monopoly, because there's only one firm, the one firm can stay at a positive economic profit theoretically forever. Okay, I hope that helps you guys see more clearly the difference between a monopoly and a monopolistic competitor.